Hi Photos subscribers. What lens do I use and when do I use it? It's a good question. It's a little bit hard to answer, but it's a little bit hard also when you know the parameters of who's shooting what, and there's so much that can be done. I'm going to take you back to the list that we gave in a previous video of the different lenses and their focal distances. I'm going to give you a list of what different type of photographers will commonly use, but please don't hear it this way either. This is not the only lenses they will use, okay? It depends on the photographer, but you're gonna find there are two basic types of photographers. There are gonna be the artistic photographers, even within fairly technical ranges, that will do certain things in it, or maybe just use other lenses. That is not common in that, say, niche or niche of photography. Some things you just can't mess with, but there is a specific way to shoot architecture, okay? The architecture has specific integral lines that need to be straight. They don't need to look warped or tilting or so take the picture of an old church in the New England area. You see this church and you lift your camera up to your eye, you get focused in, you frame it up so that there's not too much of one side or the other, and you get the steeple up top and you get the front door, and you take an image, and then you get back to your house and you're taking a look and you're going, that's weird. The bell tower looks like it's flaring out of the top, and it wasn't. That is the nature of your lens not keeping lines straight. But if you find a specific lens and it's something that other photographers will use, even among journalism uses, it's called rectilinear. And rectilinear will keep your lines straight, and it's specifically designed to stop that kind of distortion. Once you get a rectilinear lens, you'll see lines like that church in specific directions and angles, not flaring those lines anymore. I've taken some artistic architectural shots, but I knew specifically those lines would be skewed, and so I took odd angles of older churches in the New England area that it wouldn't matter, the distortion, because my angle was so different that it was obvious I was taking an artistic shot anyway, and so it really didn't matter. But if you want to preserve lines like that architecture, then you're going to need a rectilinear lens. Now, I didn't list that type because rectilinear lenses are not a type of lens only. They are kind of mixed into the wide angle and the standard zoom types. But your purpose for what lens do I use when is going to affect what lens you use. If you are trying to capture something that is widespread, the coming of a storm, or that kind of idea, is it goes fairly far out to the left, it goes fairly far out to the right, you're going to need a wide angle lens. If you're looking for some standard zoom but you're not that close to it, then you're going to be getting some scenery around it, but you might be able to use a standard zoom lens, 135 to 200 millimeters, be able to get close to it. If you are wanting to shoot an image of a bird as it flies over, you're going to need something more telephoto. That's actually probably near super telephoto, something around the 300 to 500 or 600 millimeter lens, even to the top of a 35 foot tree, you're going to need something that's at least 200 millimeters, and even then your 300 to 600 is going to do you a better service in being able to capture the majestic nature and clarity of that bird's feathers, and being able to get a good shot of it so that the bird is not lost in the tree. If you're looking from the side of a road out a couple hundred yards, you're going to need something that's super telephoto, something that's going to get you out to 800 millimeters and be able to have that zoom power. But again, approaching anything near a quarter mile, even that super telephoto is going to be a little bit too short for you. If you're looking to do portraiture, we've gone over that in other videos, but I would suggest to do something no closer than 35 millimeters. But even then, if you have light issues that you need to be further away so that you're not compressing that light with how close you are to your subject, do something more along the lines of the 70 millimeter to 200 zoom lens. If you are wanting to do more of a jewelry style shoot and you need to use it on a model, then you're going to look at something that's about 35 millimeters. You're also going to be looking for a lens that is macro capable, so that you are close enough to your subject that you're picking up the clarity of what the jewelry contains, the metal, the jewels, and that sort of stuff, any stones that are included in that jewelry. If you're shooting jewelry that's not on a mannequin or not on a model, then you can lay that out on set top with specific ways of lighting that, and you can use something that's a little bit more detailed, something 35 millimeters or larger in view capability, so that you can get up closer and using that macro lens so that you actually get the detail, the facets of any of the stones that may be carved or cut. There are a lot, and there's a great breadth of photography styles. So when you get to a point of knowing what you're looking at, you're going to need to consider a couple of things. The amount that you need to see, which is going to be the millimeter rating. If you want to see something wide angle, you're going to need something that is in the lower number range, something lower than 35 millimeters if you want to see a broad, wide angle view of it. If you want to be further away from something but still see it up closer, as if closing that gap because of magnification, you're going to need something on the higher number range of millimeters, something above 100 millimeters, so that your distance appears to be greater and you are closer to the object when really you are further away. If you're looking for something that approximates best what you see with your eye, then anything close to 50 millimeters, 55 millimeters, or 70, 75. 50 millimeters basically is going to be the magnification of what we see with our eye. Our eye is the closest approximation that we can get to about 50 millimeters in viewing depth. Not that, you know, our eyes are going to see the same angle of view that the 50 millimeter does. It's actually narrowed down from what our eyes see, but the magnification aspect of that, the 50 millimeters is going to be closest to what we see. And as we bring this into a landing, if you need the capability of shooting jewelry or other things, but it distorts, it doesn't actually give the shape that the object you're shooting really does have, then you're going to be looking for something more akin to the specialty lenses of a tilt shift. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I hope this content has brought value to your shooting. And as you continue to learn, so are we here, and how we can bring this topic of discussion and learning about photography to you as I learn what it is to do video. Thank you so much.